Hey everybody, this is Dr. Dain. Welcome to this installment of the Tour of Consciousness from lovely Munich, Germany. A beautiful park that I found while driving to lunch. And just wanted to say, hey, give you a tool that might brighten your life, you know, that kind of thing. So one of the things that continuously happens in Access Consciousness is we're continuously getting new information on how to change limitations into possibilities. Well, one of the biggest things that we have come across that I'll be sharing with you today is actually so simple you won't even believe how much it affects your life, and it's called definitions. Definition by definition alone is a limitation. Now, we've said this in Access for years. When I first came 18 years ago, I remember Gary saying definition by definition alone is a limitation, and yet we live in a world where we define everything and everyone, and I didn't realize until recently how much that's limiting us. So the real simple version of the process that you can use right now is, what definitions am I using to create the limitations I am choosing? Right, wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. What definitions are you using to create the limitations you are choosing? Right, wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. Now run that 10, 20, 30, 40, 1,000 times, I don't know. And then you can start using it in specific areas. So for example, you go, what definitions of relationship am I using to create the limitations of relationship I am choosing? Everything that is right, wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. What definitions of money are you using to create the limitations of money you are choosing? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. Or broaden it even more and go, okay, so what definitions am I using to create the limitations of money I am choosing? Because it's not just your definitions of money that create the limitation of money, it's your definitions of receiving, your definition of your value based on money or not, your definition of I can be like my parents but I can't be greater, your definition that people aren't going to like you as much, your definition that you'll lose your friends. I mean, we have all these things defined, and the weird part is once you define it as reality, that's what becomes your reality. Now this is the really weird part, okay? And I've said this for a very long time. Your point of view creates your reality. Reality does not create your point of view. So when you define these things as your reality, that's what then shows up in your life, and then you go, see, I knew I was right, this is reality. Guess what, my friends? Reality is something you create. And when two or more people align and agree with a point of view, that's when a reality gets created. So what you'll do is you'll take your mom's definitions, your dad's, all the people you're growing up around, teachers, parents, friends, books, movies. Oh my God, movies. Oh my God, movies. Anybody ever seen a rom-com or a romance, period? Hello. How many definitions did you get from those suckers? Everything that is, we destroyed and created, please. Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. Now, this is a very large subject. We just spent 4 days in an amazing class called The 9 Trannies, which is not about what you think it's about, actually. It's about these 9 capacities that you have that, if you unlock them and choose them, allow you to access the magic you know should be possible. And we spent 4 days pock and potting definitions about people, because we know that once we get you beyond your definitions, then the possibilities you have available, the magic you know you've always had available, will show up. So if you want right now the quickest, shortest path to get there, pock and pod, which means you go to the point of creation or the point of destruction, meaning you undo wherever you've defined anything in your reality. One other way that you can use it is, ADHD, I apologize. So it's the shortest path from where you are right now to the magic you know you can be in any area, and if you choose it, in every area. This is a big one, and once again, it's so simple you wouldn't even know it was there unless somebody told you, which is why I'm telling you right now. And if you've been to an Access Consciousness class recently, you've heard this conversation. If you haven't, get to one. What are you waiting for? Not really. Do whatever you want, but run the process at the very least, okay? And see what is changeable in your world as you go beyond the defined, limited you to the undefined you that can ask and receive instantaneously. Because we are getting so wonderfully close to that being able to become your reality. Please, 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 pock and pod your definitions. And the last thing is, for every weird energy that comes up around anything, just go all the definitions creating this. Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. Do it 3 or 4 times and see what changes. You don't even have to define what is you're defining. You don't have to define your definition. You don't have to define what's limiting you. Just go with the energy and change it. Whew. For some of you, I just sounded like I said, 6 minutes of Greek. Sorry about that. For the rest of you, I hope this contributes. And if it sounded like Greek, maybe you want to listen to this thing over and over and over until you actually get what I'm talking about, because this tool is phenomenal. So have fun playing, have fun undefining, have fun having too much fun, even if you can't define what too much fun is. I adore you. Thank you for being in the world. What if you truly being you are the gift, the change, and the possibility this world requires? You are my beautiful friends. Can't wait to meet you in person someday. Bye.